I was so scared when I came here and scared to meet new people, but when I met my friends, it was actually really peaceful. I've had so many sports days and so much fun, especially with my friends playing out in the sun. I moved so far away and nearly changed schools. I'm so glad I didn't because I would have been a fool. Over the years from P1 to P7, I have really grown. It's been a lot better than I ever would have known. I remember when I was in P1 and it was my very first year. This has been the very best school and I'm so glad my parents chose here. It is scary moving into secondary school, but I've had so much fun here through the years. Hopefully when I settle in next term, the nerves will disappear.
I came back from Canada when I was primary 2, and I saw my friends in nursery school that I already knew. I remember in P3 when we had a movie night. We watched Big Hero 6 and I had a drink and a bite. I recall going to Waterworld and I went in the wave pool, and I saw some awesome water rides that were really cool. I remember in 2019 doing the high jump and I had a blast. It was super fun jumping on the mat, which was on the grass. On my first day of Mrs. Beather's class, I was excited, and when I found out I sat near my friend Lewis, I was delighted. I remember going to the toilet and I was in the same room as my friends. I was having so much fun that I didn't want it to end. Now I'm in P7 and I'm leaving DPS. I've had so much awesome times here. The school is truly the best.
Good morning, children. Good morning. There are so many of you children that I've only said good morning to individually, never as a whole group before, because we've got 14 children here in P1 that I've never had an assembly. Can you imagine that? And have the P2s had an assembly?
They would have, yes, just free.
Just free, all that chaos. How are we feeling this morning? Good. Are you excited? You see some shiny things up here? Yeah, that is very exciting. We're all magpies when it comes to this stuff. So we've got some special guests here this morning, children. We've got our Chair of Governors, Mr. Richard Harkness. Should I say good morning? Good morning. And we've got Jane Thompson. She's head of Parent Fall of Northern Ireland. Good morning. And I'm sure we know this lady. This is Cathcart, our former head, and I'm sure actually. Did you hear any of these before?
Jacob Hazard knows me.
Oh, I'm glad you've got your eye on it.
I don't think they would. I was just going to say that.
Well, children, this is our former headmistress, Mrs. Cathcart.
Good morning, Mrs. Cathcart.
Good morning, Mrs. Cathcart.
Would you like to say a few words, Mrs. Cathcart?
Well, we've got here P1, 2 and 3, and the oldest of you, of course, are in P3. And I was just saying here before you came in that I don't really know you children. I know some of you vaguely to see because I had left before you came. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here to meet you all and to hand out cups eventually and so on. And I have been confessing here that I taught some of your parents and I really feel I'm giving the game away there, but however it's lovely, and maybe when you tell them I was here they'd remember who I am. So it's lovely to meet you all, and I just want to wish you all the very best for next year. P3s, of course, they will be moving classroom, yes.
That's right.
They'll be going to P4 in a different room, and that will be a whole new adventure for you, and I know you'll love it. So all the very best. I hope you have a lovely summer holiday and lots of fun, and let's hope lots of sunshine, not like today, and keep yourselves very, very safe. Won't you do that? Yes. Good. All right. Thank you.
Mrs. Cathcart, your fingerprints are all over this school. Children, if you go home and you let your parents know that Mrs. Cathcart was in talking to you this morning, they will all know who Mrs. Cathcart is. Believe you me, they will all know. Would you like a certificate?
Yes.
So, you all do have a certificate this morning, and it's for your participation in your Mandarin lessons. When do you do your Mandarin? Monday. On a Monday morning, don't you? Kicks off the week. Do your Mandarin with Anna every Monday morning, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Anna will be back to teach us in person next year instead of on the old Zoom. What do you think?
Yeah.
Would that be better?
Yeah.
Does it ever look like I'm struggling to get it going? Yeah. Yeah, technical difficulties often, so I'll be delighted to see Anna back next year, but she's very kindly written out a certificate for each and every one of you, and if you look closely, you'll be able to see Anna's name in Mandarin. Isn't that fancy? It is very fancy. It is very fancy indeed. So, whenever your name's called, if you'd like to come up and shake Mrs. Hansard's hand, and then I'll give you your certificate. So, our very first certificate goes to Maisie Atchison. Big clap for Maisie. Sophia Bamber. You are so pardon? Oh, he'll be clapping now because you know who's next? Tommy Best. Well done, Tommy. Good man. Daniel Byers. Good man. Well done, Daniel. G. Clough. Well done. You're very welcome. Lovely manners. Holly Corrigan. Josh Farlow. Well done, Josh. George Farrell. You're very welcome. Charlie first. Don't yet, actually, not a bit. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Jacob Hassett. Good man. Catherine Irvine. Charles Saunderson. Good man, Charles. Lillian Seddon. Bethany Welsh. Sophie Patrick. You're very welcome. Isabella Irvine. Grace Foy. There you are, you're very welcome. Ollie Bracken. There you are. Alfie Farlow. Yeah? He was. Good man, Alfie. Adam first. Janet Foy. Tessa Pfeiffer. Ali McIver. Yeah, no. Well done. Jensen Stewart. Oh, well done. James Crook. Well done. And finally, Evie Bracken. Alright, very well done. Okay, hands on knees. Did anyone spy any of these trophies up here? Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen them before? She does not. And yeah, where do they normally live? They do live in a cabin. Where is the cabin? In the hall. That is well spotted. So we have one of these shiny trophies for each class. One for P1, one for P2, and one for P3. And these shiny trophies, do you know what they're called? Well, they're the Joan Cathcart Cup for Special Achievement. Who is Mrs. Cathcart? This lady here donated all these shiny trophies for each year. So, without further ado, Mrs. Hazard, if you would like to let us know who your P1 winner is, please. And Mrs. Cathcart, would you like to present?
P1, it was a really difficult decision because I haven't met you for the last 2 months. Well, I've known some of you before that, but not in school terms. So it was really difficult, but I used Mrs. Ferguson's guidance as well, and I give this to a child who has improved immensely from September to present day. They have worked hard. Even through homeschooling, they continued to work at home. They didn't just leave their work, but they made sure it was completed and teacher evidence was submitted. Since I came back, they have even further improved to know all their numbers, all their sounds, can write their letters beautifully. And that's just in the last 2 months because it was a struggle. This child has really proven himself, and I'll give the clue away. Jude Clough.
Well done, Jude. Well done, Jude. And next we have our winner in Primary 2, please.
Okay. So Primary 2, same sort of reason for the most improvement. Now I did leave last year in March when I had to leave. So I'm thinking back to where I left them, and I'm thinking to how they are today. So again, it's for the most, what I see as the most improvement. This child can get on with their work, knows what to do, doesn't distract others, and knows their goal. So what they have to do to achieve what Mrs. Hazard wants them to do. And I feel that my P2 winner this year is Isabella.
Well done, Isabella. And finally our Primary 3 winner, please.
exact same reasons for P2 because I have had you. I left you again in March, came back to you in May, and it's the biggest improvement that I have seen. Now this also goes in this class for maturity. Big P3s, you're only P2s last year. Okay, but you have, this person has matured and really taking control of their own learning. That they're able to do what I would like them to do. They're able to pick up their strategies now and apply them in different situations, especially in maths. Really, really proud of this person, and that's Janet Foy.
Well done, Janet. Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to say to your P1, P3 class, please, Mrs. Sanders?
Just that I've really enjoyed the past 2 months and getting to know, especially the P1s, getting to know Ian and all the Anita. I've really enjoyed coming back to work. So thank you.
Mrs. Hazard, I hope you don't mind me telling, I guess, she wasn't sent away to live in a convent or anything. She was off on maternity leave to welcome Anna Hazard into the world. So congratulations to you and congratulations to your class.
It all started in primary one when I didn't know anyone, but then I got to know them and had lots of fun. Then we moved into P2 when we had already grew. Then it was off to Castle Adventure Farm Park. Then it was time for P3 and we were having fun constantly. Then the time came for P4 and a new classroom in Mrs. Rutherford and the questions I mostly had an answer for. Then it was time for another trip to Rosnowla. In a blink it was Key Stage 2 and P5 when Megan did arrive. Then I was off to Bundoran Water Park when we had a lark. This was the year Mrs. Rutherford and Mrs. Cathcart did go. Then we hit primary 6 and we moved into class made of bricks. Then we hit the transfer when the work took its toll, but it was fine as we went to go to Toad. Now I'm in primary 7 and it feels like I've been through heaven. Looking back over the years will always bring a few tears. Now it's my final year and I look back at how I've changed and I'm almost unbelieving. So thank you for all you've done. Now it's time to move on to another one.
My memories. I didn't start my school days in Derrygonnelly Primary School in Primary 1. I began in the summer term of Primary 5, and I'm so glad I did, as I've had lots of laughs and never been glum. We stepped through the door into P6. We started transfer, boy, it hard work. We did loads of thematic, which was really interesting. We had lots of creative ideas when doing lots of artwork. We went to go to Toll. It was one big adventure, and before we knew it, we were back to school, chatting all about the great time that we had. Then we got into the car and said to our parents that trip was cool. Now in P7, near the end of term is in sight, we are getting ready for Year 8, learning how to organise our backpacks. We will conquer this challenge that life has in store for us. Feeling sad yet excited to be leaving and not coming back. So thank you to my teachers and friends for always being there. It means the world to me to know how much you cared.
P4, 5. Good morning, children.
Good morning, Mr. Sturt. And
Right, we'll do the introductions first. That's better. So, we've got our Chair of Governors, Mr. Richard Harkness.
Good morning.
And we've got Jane Thompson from Parent Kind.
Good morning.
And we should definitely all know who this lady here is. It's Mrs. Cathcart. Mrs. Cathcart. You guys know, because you've been here at least 4 years. Some of you 5. And here we are at our big assembly, and you've got loads of stuff. Everything left on the table is for you guys. So, we've got a big stack of certificates here. I've kept your sports day certificates back, so you'll have those to get to. We've got some reading certificates, and we all know what these are. What do we have here? Oh, you really do know that? Okay. That's fantastic. So we'll just start. Would someone give me a hand handing out the certificates, please? come on ahead. You're not a bit shy. So, as you make your way up, you're going to shake Mr. Harkness's hand, and then I'll hand you a certificate. Will you do manage that?
Yes.
Really?
Hopefully. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
You'll be grand. No pressure. Jacob Hires. Sorry, I should have said what these are for, Jacob. I should have said what this is for. What does it say on it, Jacob?
Certificate of participation. This certifies that student Byers has successfully completed the introduction to Mandarin course by conspicuous institutes at Ulster University.
I dare you to read that next bit. So that is the Mandarin version of Anna's name. When do we see Anna? Every Monday morning, ready to go. Hopefully she'll be back here in person next year. What do you think?
Yes.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. So
Can you pronounce that in Mandarin?
I was actually going to ask you, Mr. Harkness, if you're better travelled than I, so I was going to ask. Jacob, that was wonderful reading. Very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done. Next up, Jill Cathcart. Well done, Jill. Lucy Cathcart. Well done, Lucy. Noah Clough. Well done. Phoenix. There you go. Joseph Giles. You're very welcome. Charlie Hampton. Sarah Kernan. Well done, Sarah. Harvey Welsh. Very good. Good man, Harvey. Sandy Crook. Well done, Sandy. Love Ajiga. Well done, love. Matthew Farley. Well done, Matthew. Amber Furnace. Well done, man. Nathan Furnace. Well done. Francesca Lindsay. There we go. Isaac Miller. Kitty Muldoon. Well done. Sophie Stewart. Well done. And Charles Welch. Gonna work the double shift because we've got our Sports Day Superstar certificates to hand out now. So, Charlie Hamilton. You'll be alright. You'll be alright. Joseph Giles. Well done. Phoenix Charrington Wilden. Good man. Lucy Cathcart. Isaac Miller.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, Isaac. Charles Wells. Good man. Sophie Stewart.
Well done, Sophie.
Well done. Francesca Lindsay.
Well done, dear.
Amber Ferguson.
Well done, Amber.
There you go. Nathan Ferguson.
Well done, Nick.
Jill Cathcart. Well done, Tim. Harvey Welsh. Well done. Sandy Crook.
Well done, Sandy, dear. Well done.
There you are. Jacob Byers.
Well done.
Well done, Jacob. Love Ajika.
Well done again.
There you are. Kitty Muldoon.
Well done, Katie.
And Sarah Kernan. Well done. If you take a good look at your certificates, children, it'll let you know of any placings that you achieved on the day as well. So do keep those safe. And Mrs. Fawcett is preparing a little envelope for our winners for next week. So you'll have that to look forward to as well. Up next, we've got our reading certificates. We do lots of talking about reading, don't we, children? We really do. I'm never given over about it. Sure I'm not? No. That's right. That's right. But more importantly than talking about reading is actually doing a lot of reading, isn't it? So we actually have quite a few children who have read over 500,000 words this year. And oh no, that's what I was like. I look at the list each morning and I'm going to look at the list all the time. Yeah, and I'm going, oh, what's yeah, me. But you guys have all smashed 500,000 plus. First up, Jacob Byers. Very well done, Sarah Kernan. Very well done, Sarah. Amber Ferguson. There you are there. Kitty Muldoon. Well done. And Love Ajika. Very well done. Guys, don't get disheartened if you didn't reach that 500,000. Some of you weren't very far away. You really weren't. And come September, sorry to say you guys with the certificates, come September it will all reset. It'll be a new academic year and a new year to take your reading very seriously. It is important, it's probably the most important academic thing we do is reading. It's really going to take you places, so really focus on that next year. We're going to continue with the programme. We're sorting out our library towards that, so it should be even easier next year. So keep going with it, and of course read over the summer as well. So that's everything handed out then.
Trophy.
Primary 4, we have primary 4 here, and primary 5 too, some primary 5s too. Mrs. Cathcart, would you like to present our Primary 4 trophy. Unfortunately, funny, do you know what like Mrs. Cathcart when you have a class, it really just grab you, you know, and for a long time it was always my first ever class, and it's hard to replicate that feeling. But this class, I don't know if it's because some of the children constantly ask me, "Are we your favourite class?" But they really have dug in deep there, and it made it really difficult to decide for the winners in both classes. So I actually have two very different reasons for each. In Primary 4, as some of you may know, I used to play a lot of rugby, and hopefully soon be able to get back to playing a lot of rugby. And I'm not actually very good. I didn't start playing until I was 25. But what I can tell you is when I am playing, I try really, really hard. I really try hard, and whenever I'm playing or captaining the team, I just like to have people around me that are also trying really, really hard. It's so important that you're always giving your all. That's the most important thing. No matter what it is you're doing, if you're giving your all, it draws people towards you. People want to follow that person if you're trying really hard and giving your all. And because there will be things that you are very talented. There's a lot of very skillful children in front of me, but there'll be something that each of you will struggle with. But as long as you keep trying hard, no one will think, that's not very good. That's not very good. As long as people still see you trying hard, they appreciate that. And I know I really appreciate this people in Primary 4. I have never seen them get disheartened. I have never seen them give up. I have seen them find humour in things that I wouldn't find much humour in, and that's a great way to be, is to laugh things off and get on with things. And you know me, children, I like a bit of wit, and I like a bit of fun and a laugh. And I think you'll all agree this child has given us many laughs this year, and that's why our winner in Primary 4 is Sandy Tripp. Very well done, Sandy. It was a very tough decision, but I think you'll all agree Sandy gives us many a laugh, doesn't she? Yes. She never quits, and she gives everything her all. So very well done. Primary 5, well we know each other now, Mrs. Gathcart, so you'll have to. Primary 5. Primary 5. I feel robbed of this class, you know, all the time without them this year and being in school. But they did work very, very hard during the lockdown period. They worked very hard from home. But I've had one child who I think has changed a lot over the last couple of years in the classroom, and I don't know who has great influence on them, myself, Mrs. Morrison, the rest of the teaching staff, or that Portuguese number 7. But he's just a very cool chap. He listens to advice. I think he's got a few family members that keep him right as well, and he's really emerged as a quiet leader. And what I really like about this guy is he's just Mr. Cool under pressure. He would be far better up here speaking than I. Whether he's out playing football, turn his hand any sport in the classroom, he's just very matter of fact, and he takes everything in his stride, and it's a great way to be, especially moving on into P6. So our winner in Primary 5, Nathan Fergus. Very well done, Nathan. Have you all right? Have you all right? Did you enjoy this morning, children? Yes. Yeah. I enjoyed that too.
May I just
Absolutely.
say to P4 and 5, they were just in P1 and 2 when I left, and of course there are a couple of them in the P4 class that I see very, very often. And I'm sure you can guess who they are. Very beloved granddaughters. But the other children I haven't seen, and you've very much, and you've grown up so much, and I'm delighted to be able to come today to meet you all. A few others, I see Joseph from time to time. He's a fairly near neighbour, but there are others whom I haven't seen, so I'm delighted to be here today. And now I've got a picture of you in my mind, having grown up for 3 years perhaps, so that's lovely. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you again, Mr. Stewart.
You're very welcome.
Here.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Delighted.
My memories. I came to Derrygonnelly Primary School. It was so cool. So if you don't come to it, then you're a fool. In primary 2, we started to learn some more things like watching nature grow in spring. In primary 3, I made some friends called William, Jensen and Ben. This is when we learned how to do 2 add 10. In primary 5, we went on a school trip to the water park. We had so much fun on the slides and played park. In primary 6, I went on a residential trip to Gorter Toll, where I was in a room with my friends. We loved every minute of it, and even went to bed after 10. In primary 7, I know it's time to say goodbye to my friends and the staff, but I just want you to know I've had such a good laugh. The memories I will last forever, leave confident and ready, so definite it's now or never.
I remember in P2 and 1 playing in the playground, having lots of fun, skipping and dancing out in the sun. I remember in P3 getting scared when watching a film and having to sit in Mrs. Ferguson's knee. I remember in P4 as a school trip we went to the seashore. I remember in P5 being very excited for our principal, Mr. Stewart, to arrive. I remember in P6 coming back from lockdown and finding it hard to mix. And now I'm in P7 and I'm a big 11. I can't say I'll not miss the place, but I'll miss the teachers more. So thank you very much, I say as I walk out the door.
This has been a long time, hasn't it? It's been a long time. Over 2 years. Not since a good morning, but from you were even in this room getting a good morning in this hall. So we've got our Chair of Governors there, Mr. Richard Harkness. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have the head of Parent Kind in all of Northern Ireland, Ian Thompson.
Good morning, everyone.
And we have our past headmistress, Mrs. Joan Cathcart.
Good morning.
And we have Mrs. Petter. Yeah, I hope you were saying good morning already. Alright, would you like to say anything to our P6 and 7 children, please, Mrs. Cathcart?
Yes, I would. First of all, I'm delighted to be here. I thank Mr. Stewart very much indeed for thinking of me and giving me this opportunity. So, that said, I want to talk to the P6s and the P7s. You've come to the end of another year, and I realise the last 2 years have been difficult and have been very, very different from what you've been used to, and very different from what you might have liked. But hopefully, perhaps, who knows, the end of all that might be in sight, and let's hope so. I just want to say a few words in particular to the P7s. You're coming to the end of your time in Derrygonnelly Primary School. I know for some families that will be the end of their connection here. But I hope you'll always look back on your days here at Derrygonnelly with affection and pleasure. You're facing a new challenge now. You're going on to whatever school. It doesn't matter what school you're going to, because you will have to work very hard when you get there, and I know you're all capable of doing that from what I have been told, and that you're all capable of great success, so just remember that, won't you? I wish you all the very best, And I always said when I was here as a teacher, I'd look forward to hearing about you in the future. And I will continue to do that because I do have links with this school, you know. I have people who tell me things occasionally. They're nothing nasty, don't think anybody tells tales, but they do tell me exciting things that have happened, and they've told me about the wonderful things that are going on around the school. And it's been super to see round this morning. And if I might just say, you're very, very fortunate children to have all these facilities right here beside you. That isn't the case for every school because of where they're situated, etc. So you've got great opportunities here inside the school, of course, and outside too. So it just remains for me to wish the P7s all the very best for the future. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mrs. Cascott. Indeed, they are a very wonderful class, and that's why you're getting the lion's share of all the certificates and trophies on the table here this morning. So the very first thing are your certificate of participation in the Confucius Hub project this year with Anna, as you've been learning Mandarin all year. So, Sai Shen, and I'll pass over to you, Mrs. Feller.
Okay, so you just come up and I'll hand the certificate and you can shake your hands with Mrs. Fitzgerald, okay? So, rejoice. I'll shake your hand first and then hand your certificate.
Alright, thank you, well done.
Thank you, girl. Gareth.
Come on ahead. Well done, Gareth.
Maisie.
Well done, music.
Shiloh.
Well done, Charlotte.
Albert.
Good man, Alfie. Well done.
Good strong hand. That's it. Thea.
Well done, Thea.
Luke.
Good man, Luke. Well done.
Eliana.
Well done, Eliana.
Joel.
Well done, Luke. Oh, well done, Joel, rather.
Okay, James.
Brian James.
Well done, James. Louis.
Good man, Louis. Well done.
And Amy.
Well done, Amy.
And Jack.
Well done, Jack.
And Poppy.
Well done, Poppy.
And Ben.
Well done, Ben.
Alright, Lewis.
Good man, Lewis.
And Beth.
Well done, Ben.
Jensen.
Well done, Jensen.
Lucy.
Well done, Lucy.
Girl Grace.
Well done, Grace.
Megan.
Good job, man.
William.
Well done, William.
And Erin.
Well done, Aaron.
Alright.
There you are. Very well done, everybody. Up next, we have the Cycling Proficiency Award. Oh, this was great fun. So Really enjoyed it. Dodging the rain, sticking out the cones, hoping the chalk didn't wash away. It was great fun, wasn't it? Well, we could believe that we all got there in the end. All 10 of you passed, so all 10 of you will get a certificate here this morning. You'll get 2 certificates each actually. You'll get your cycle helmet award, because luckily you all made the correct decisions for a cycle helmet. And you've all got your certificate of competence with your cycling, so very well done. Very well done. So we have one for Erin Daly. Well done there.
William.
Man, William.
Megan.
Well done, Megan.
Grace.
Well done, Grace.
Ben.
Well done, Ben.
Lewis.
Man, Lewis.
Lucy.
Well done, Lucy.
Right. Jensen.
Well done, Jensen.
And Beth.
Good job, Ben.
And Poppy.
Well done, Poppy.
Well
There you are, very well done. Up next, we have our Accelerated Reader Awards. So, we have a certificate here to celebrate someone who read over 500,000 words this year. Over 500,000 words this year, which is no mean feat, especially all things considered. And that certificate goes to Maisie Cathcart. Well done, Maisie. Fantastic music. We have as many as 6 children who achieved over millionaire status in terms of words read this year. And that's only from September, October time until now. So a fantastic achievement. The first of which is Ben Cathcart.
Well done. The amount of words are on your certificate. Next one up. This will be each shout it out yet.
Lou MacGyver. Beth Hazard. Poppy Ballard. Lucy Muldoon.
Lucy actually had 3 million words read.
Well done, Lucy. And from P6, Thea Farlow. Well done, Thea. Before we get on to our main event, Mrs. Cathcart's Cups, would you believe that we have both the Sports Girl of the Year and Sports Boy of the Year in front of us as well from this class? In these classes, rather. Would you like to announce the Sports Girl of the Year, please?
Sports Girl of the Year is, drumroll, Poppy Bedard. Drumroll again. And Sports Boy of the Year, Ben Cathcart.
Good man. And up next are the Joan Cathcart Cups for Special Achievement winners, please. So our first is from P6.
Right. I actually had to write this down because I thought by the time I got up and tried to speak, I'd be like a nervous wreck. So, P6 award. Now, coming into P6 is a big step from P5. And it's a clean slate, so we just come in and you work as hard as you can. And one particular person, for me, has completely excelled this year. Not the same person they were in September. They've actually realised how much they can achieve when they work hard for it. Achieved great assessment scores, classwork, brilliant. During lockdown, never faulted at all. This person actually has realised, do you know, I'm quite good at this working hard. I can do this, and I can achieve, and actually is enjoying the process of transfer. So, without further ado, this award had to, this year, go to Albie Clough. Well done, Albie. Good man, alright?
We do have some.
Now, my P7 one was harder. You're all fantastic. If I had a award for all of you, I could give it. But I have to look, take back and have a little look at something that maybe somebody has done or has achieved. So this award this year goes to somebody who might not always find everything really easy, but this person never, ever gives up. Alright? May not be the most sportiest person, may not be the most academic, but they are the loveliest person that I have taught, right, for the last 2 years. Right? Never without a smile, good manners, and really conscientious, catching up on all missed work, you name it, this person has it down to a T. And I couldn't be any prouder of you, Megan Thompson. Alright, well done.
Well done. So that concludes, that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. Thanks very much for coming to our assembly this morning. And is there anything you'd like to say in
No,
closing?
I'm perfect. They're all happy looking.
Very well done, children. It's it's been wonderful to finally have you here to present all of your winnings to you, and it's great to be able to do that. For me, this far exceeds what we were able to do last year virtually. To have you here in person, and that's the main thing. And I just hope that you're all safe and well, and continue to stay safe and well throughout the summer, ahead of your journeys to next year, or indeed and your next school, or indeed returning here for your P7 year. So just keep staying safe, keep working hard, and listen to everything Mrs. Better tells you. Alright, thanks very much.
My memories. I was only 10 years old when I moved to Derrygonnelly Primary School. I was nervous the first day, but then I met all my friends who were really cool. I started in primary 6 with Miss Bedard, really nervous on my very first day in her class. But then I met all my new friends and that lonely feeling suddenly passed. I remember when Poppy, Beth, Ben and I went to the swimming gala with some of the primary 7s. We won second place overall, and all the way home we were in heaven. I remember when we went to Tool. I had so much fun with all my friends. We got to go caving and climbing, got wet, it was amazing, and we didn't want it to come to an end. I remember our Christmas play, Sherlock and Cinders, was simply the best. We had so much to learn, to say and sing, but Miss Bedard never seemed to get stressed. Now it's the end of primary 7 and I've enjoyed every minute. It's been brilliant. I feel so lucky to have all my friends around, and I'm leaving the school so more resilient by Erin Daly.
I remember my first week in primary 1, I sharpened my finger, it was not much fun. I remember feeling bigger and more sensible in primary 2. There was so many things I had now learned to do. I remember leaving the mobile and going into Mrs. Rutherford's class. It was quite fun when we got to
play on the grass. I remember at the end of P5 when Mr. Stewart arrived, as soon as we heard he was a Liverpool supporter, we just hoped he would survive. I remember P6 was hard when transfer took its toll, but we were lucky as before lockdown we got to go to Gorge Toll. I was in my element, caving and getting soaking wet. Even when climbing I did not break a sweat. In P7 I will always remember how quickly our year did go. It's time to move on. I've had so many happy times, and now I'm off to Orgs and I'm a little sad, but don't worry DPS, I remember the times we've had.
Now folks, we have just, I'm sure you've all noticed, there's one trophy still sitting here. Now you won't have seen this before at all, will you?
No.
Can you guess who this might be for?
Mr. Stewart!
Why would you give it to Mr. Stewart, for goodness
Because he's
sakes?
the world's best teacher.
Well, what about me?
You're not a teacher.
How much I do a lot, do I not?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, well you're all right, you're correct, and I'm not sure what... Is there any class you would put Mr. Stewart in?
P4 and
P4 or P5, right? Not P1 or... No, right. Well anyway, you will know when I start to tell you about this. This award is for, and we've all been in lockdown, haven't we? This year. And it's been very difficult for you, hasn't it?
Yes.
Now, it's been even more difficult for all your teachers, including Mr. Stewart, because they have had an awful lot more work to do to be able to ensure that you can continue to learn at home. It's not just as easy as having you in class and being able to speak in front of you. They've had to prepare things in advance, email them out. Now I'm not into that sort of technology at all, but I can just imagine how difficult it all is to type everything out and email it out. And all your teachers, all the teachers in this school and indeed in all the other schools, have worked extremely long hours, much longer than usual, to make you and your colleagues throughout schools be able to continue learning. As a result, it was decided that there was going to be an award for a lockdown hero, and it is throughout the whole of the United Kingdom. And there have been many, many thousands of entries. And out of all of those entries, a panel has chosen who they would like to be their lockdown hero. Now it covers various areas, and throughout all of the United Kingdom, there have been 12, I think, of these presented. It's the Pearson National Teaching Award, and it's for the lockdown hero for school and community support. And I think you will all agree, and by your attitude I know you will agree, that not just alone in school has Mr. Stewart been your hero and got everything done for you. He has also helped in the wider community, something which you probably wouldn't know about. To that end, a proposal was sent in that Mr. Stewart go forward for this award, and myself and a few others had to take part, Mr. Stewart as well, unfortunately for him, had to take part in a, what do you call it, is it a Zoom meeting?
Yeah.
Is that, you're right. I don't know about these things, but I just do what I'm told. And this Zoom meeting we had to say why we thought Mr. Stewart would be the perfect person to receive one of these awards. Off they went, and they said then that they would make up their minds at a later date. Now, I have known about this for a couple of months, but I was sworn to secrecy. I couldn't tell even my own dog, because she would come in here and tell Mr. Stewart. It was only last night that we were able to, so to speak, let the cat out of the bag and tell Mr. Stewart. Now you can all tell me, have you ever seen Mr. Stewart speechless? No, I agree. Absolutely. But I have to tell you, if you had been here yesterday evening, you would have seen Mr. Stewart speechless. And even I was surprised. He did not have he couldn't utter a word. He was so surprised about this. But anyway, he's a very, very worthy recipient, I'm sure you'll agree. And we would all like to present this to him. And Mrs. Jane Thompson, who is head of, as you've heard, head of parent care in Northern Ireland and the main sponsor for these awards, is going to, if she would, present this trophy to Mr. Stewart. And it's on behalf of you all that he is receiving this trophy and all the other teachers. Very, very well done, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much, Jen.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Stewart, it just fills me with absolute delight to be able to present this to you, because for me, you've actually put Derrygonnelly very much on the map in terms of the social media map. And boys and girls, it comes no surprise to me today, the winners even of the reading, because I've been following you on Twitter for this last year, and I have seen the pictures of you hanging out of the tractor and off the back of the link box and in the bicycle up by Tully Castle and so on and so forth doing the reading. And I think again that comes down to you, Mr. Stewart, because like what Mr. Stewart said about captaining the rugby team that he goes out with, he brings the team with him, he motivates, and he wants all the players to do the best. And during lockdown, that's certainly what you did in this school, Mr. Stewart. And it was with your staff, it was with the Board of Governors meeting. Getting Mr. Harkness onto Zoom, I'm sure was a challenge, and it's a real achievement to actually get that. But that is, he kept motivating you all to learn. He was there for your parents, that if they wanted to know how in the name of goodness, Mr. Stewart, do you teach converting a fraction into a percentage nowadays, whatever that might be. So Mr. Stewart, you are a very worthy winner. Congratulations.
Well, it's very heavy.
You speechless again.
That's what I said.
Thank you very much for your very kind words. It isn't done alone. It's for everyone who answers the phone, everyone who picks up an email, everyone who answers a message, the parent volunteers we had coming in, the community volunteers, as you say, the staff, our governors and the wider community. It's a testament to the whole village as to how we have pulled through and are continuing to pull through the tough time over lockdown, and to have you all back in here and to hear this hall filled with laughter and to see your smiles lighting it up has certainly made it all worthwhile, and to see your reactions. You're a special class, this is a very special school and a very special village, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for your kind words. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Manners to the end. Thank you. Thank you. So there you are. We'll have to grab some pictures with our winners, please.
Do we know how many winners there were in Northern Ireland? Do we know how many Pearson picture winners? Yeah, because I was just trying to take a scan over Twitter.
Okay.
And I could only catch 2 or 3. You know, like boys and girls, is that whenever Mr. Harkness said as well about, you know, being in the United Kingdom, we think about that being Northern Ireland, Scotland, England and Wales. And if we look in Northern Ireland alone, we've got 1,190 schools, is it, Mrs. Cathcart? You know, that we have. And I remember Mr. Stewart last year, the P7, the Levers video, you know, that caught me. And a school in Belfast has copied you this year.
Is that right?
Yes, they've copied you. Okay, but I remember it was like one of the famous people that was on that couldn't even pronounce Derrygonnelly.
Right.
Or they weren't properly pronouncing that, you know. So
for this award to come out of the heart of England, a very few, and 12 in total. So, Mr. Stewart, well done.
Thank you very much. No, it's very humbling. It really is, because I was given a great opportunity here and a great chance here, and to be able to come in and in a time of crisis as it was, and to be able to pull people together, it's my pleasure to do that, and anything that I can do to help others, I'm well happy to do it. As I said earlier with rugby, I'm not the most skilled or talented person around, but luckily I'm able to talk other people into doing things, whether it be twisting their arm on the Zoom, or lifting a spade, or a hand trowel, or a paintbrush, or whatever it happens to be. So it's just my pleasure to help pull others with me. No, thank you.
And he's very brave. I remember that with Mr. Stewart, the first time I met him here. Sarah, I think it was with your mummy, and was Nathan or one of the other mummies in the back. And Mr. Stewart was in a meeting, with us very strong ladies for nearly 3 hours, the three of us, and I thought, that man will survive.
That feels many years ago now.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? That was one late evening. You were very kind to give up your time so late that evening. There certainly are a lot of strong personalities in the local area, that's for sure. And to be able to channel that has been only my pleasure to do so, to get some work out of these people, and to get us all pulling that one direction. What do you enjoy most actually since coming back to school, children? But in terms of our new things, what do you like the best?
The virtual classroom.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Did you enjoy your assembly this morning?
Yes.
Was it better being in school than on the video?
Yes.
I'm glad. The video was very special, and it really was a labour of love, putting that together over the time, and I enjoyed doing it. I was glad that you all enjoyed it. But for me, having our guests here this morning and being able to do it in person and be able to see you and feel that energy means an awful lot more to me, so I'm glad that you enjoyed it as well. Alright, yes, Frances? Pardon? I will be back to meet you very soon. Very soon. Not quite today, but you all see me around. I'll be here. You have a special dinner today. That's right. You're in the country whenever the children pick Christmas dinner as their leavers dinner of choice. I was not expecting that, but you're with the country kids whenever they choose that as a special leavers meal. So you'll have that to enjoy later. You'll have the magician, you'll have the sports, and wouldn't it just be great if the rain stopped?
Yeah.
Do you know what's great about you guys? Not just the manners, but you're the hardiest kids around. And you know what? You've been the first class of the 3 that doesn't have someone with a sling. So really stay safe. Just stay safe for now. Just kidding. Oh, no, don't say that. I'm sure she wasn't. It was just different. And that's the thing, guys, it feels like a long time ago since I stood there for about an hour recording a 2-minute video at the back door, telling you all to stay at home and stay safe, and that the work was coming, and how proud I was of you all for adapting to it so quickly that very first week. But I'm even more proud now because you've done the homeschooling thing. You're all back with us. You're all back here. It's great to see you all back. And that's the most important thing. And you all continued with your learning from home. Fitting it around your parents' work, your parents' lives, the rest of your family, that's a big deal. Your parents didn't get any sort of warning ahead of time. Look, this is coming in about a year's time, so you might need to learn about fractions or percentages or what an adverb is and an adjective and so on and so forth. They had no warning. It just happened. And you all coped so well, didn't you? Yeah.
It all started in week 1 and 2 with Mrs. Hazard when I arrived at Derrygonnelly Primary School. I instantly made new friends, which I thought were pretty cool. In B3 and 4, it was into Mrs. Rutherford's room, who taught me how to sing out loud. I competed in the Fest out year in front of a very big crowd. Getting older in primary 5 now, Megan has joined all of us. We instantly became the best of friends and we were even on the same bus. I moved into Mrs. Feddard's class where I started the transfer test. It was all maths and English. It was hard work, but I tried my best. Then Erin joined our class. We are growing once again. We all passed our cycling and proficiency with Mr. Sturt, sometimes practicing in the rain. It's nearly time for me to leave DPS and say goodbye to everyone. I'm feeling confident going off to secondary school where the next adventure will be fun.
I remember in primary 1 playing outside and having fun. I remember in primary 2 my time with Mrs. Hazard was almost through. I remember in primary 3 my little sister came and joined me. I remember in primary 4 Mrs. Rutherford walked out the door. I remember in primary 5 Mr. Sturt did arrive. I remember in primary 6 homeschooling joined the mix. Now I'm in primary 7, my time has come to leave this heaven. My time here has come to an end. I'll miss my teachers and my friends, the school trips and Christmas plays and sunbathing in the sun's rays, the summer days and snowball fights, the letters saying don't stay up all night, the speech days and gym displays, those were all such happy days. And sports day throughout the years, don't be surprised if I shed a few tears. So thank you for all you've done, you've helped me loads since I've begun. I'll miss you lots, it's clear to see you really mean the world to me. So DPS, you've been stuck with us lot for 7 years, and for our school let out 3 big cheers. Hip hip, hooray!